When the world needs a hero, only one man answers the call.
Cut! Did any of you even read the script?
You play as both the director and the star of cheesy 80s action movies.
Let's run it again, people.
Every level is a movie scene, and so at first, as the director, the player has access to a timeline tool in which each moving element can be moved in time.
Did Pillar 1 hit its mark earlier, like we rehearsed? Action!
Once you hit the action button, you actually take control over the actor, and now you cannot change anything of the timings anymore. You're really inside the scene and just have to get to the goal, which is only possible if you did your job as the director right.
From developer Chunko Studios and publisher AMC Games, the greatest action hero you've never heard of, Johnny Rush.
My name is Simon Ferrari. I'm the publishing producer.
Who am I? I'm Dominic. Hi.
I'm Guillaume Bernard. I'm the co-founder and the technical director of Chunko Studios.
And you, the director.
Cut!
So the initial spark of the game came actually during a game jam. Guillaume, myself, and a friend of mine who happened to be a video editor. And yeah, we're working on this game jam with the theme Rewind. What we took from video editing to put into a game, first and all, was the interface.
Come on, let's get this wrapped before the next millennium. All right, stick to the plan. Hide him from the big scary robot. Move these blades for cover. Johnny heads up to his little spaceship and bingo bango, scene. Action!
Think outside the box. Set up a foolproof scene.
Wait, where's my elevator cue? What is wrong with you people? Cut!
We start the game backstage inside the sound stage of the studio, meeting the producer. He's a bit angry. Initially, this level was actually not there. We added it later to have a kind of a safe space where you can learn the controls and learn how to run around and jump around with Johnny Rush, our main actor. As you see, there's no timeline here, so there's also no time limit, and you can just really freely play around, get used to the controls before playing the game, where you then always will have a time limit and therefore, always under some pressure, which is not the case here.
Here you meet one of the other main actors who stars in some of the movies you're playing, usually as the antagonist. Her name is Violet. The main character you usually play is Johnny Rush, and they have a long history of working together and not liking working with each other.
You arrived at the first set of the first movie, which is an adventure movie heavily inspired by your favorite archaeological professor. And yeah, this is where you basically learn how your main tool works, which is the timeline. You have also a movie script at the beginning of every scene that explains a bit what will happen in the scene.
And action.
So we force the player to fail here in order to force them to interact with the timeline in all the ways we want to introduce.
No. Cut.
And actually this level is very similar to the first level of the game jam version we made, because we just want to put one clip and show how to preview like the scene at any point, which is what's showing now, and then how to move clips in order to delay or put stuff earlier. The very basic of It's a Wrap.
So here the clip was now moved all the way to the left, meaning
Action.
whatever the clip does will play right away, which in this case is the bridge collapsing. So you won't have enough time to actually make it over.
Cut.
Now you place it on the right, give yourself more time to be able to reach the goal.
Action. Cut.
This character here is played by the third main actor in the movies in the game. His name is Mike. He's the rookie actor, right, who is just starting in the industry.
Yeah, we're good.
So the first movie in the game is essentially the first movie that he's ever worked on. And so he has a pretty minor sidekicky role here that grows as he evolves as an actor.
As an introduction to every level, you have a little cutscene that shows a bit of behind the scenes and maybe a bit of interaction between characters out of their movie role.
The intro also always shows you a little flag that represents where Johnny needs to be at the end of the scene.
In this level, we add a second track to the timeline, so we now have two objects that the player can interact with as the director. One is the boat going down the slope, and the other is the big snowball, which we call the avalanche, that also goes down but starts from the right. So that's an iteration on the difficulty of the first level. In this one, the difficulty is not just to find the timing of one event, it's actually to synchronize two events together in order to create a new situation than the one that naturally happens if we don't set it correct. So the issue is the snowball prevents us from going through, and the boat brings us to the right side of the level, and we have to figure out how to set them up correctly to do that.
Yeah, we don't show any of the solutions here just because it's a puzzle game. We don't want to tell everybody how to solve every single level.
We focused a lot on having a nice learning curve because it's a puzzle game, so the difficulty has to grow. And also because we bring this new tool, some people can be familiar with timeline and video editing, but most people are not. So we have a need to teach everyone how to use those, even if they are very simplified tools.
So in this scene, we introduce again a new mechanic, which is stealth. So you basically have to hide from this big scary robot in the background by staying behind cover at all times. And we also introduce a new type of clip, which is a looping clip that you can endlessly drag into any direction, which then just changes the starting point of where the loop starts. So for example, here, the two looping clips control these rotating covers that you see on the left and the right. And then you can change where the loop starts by dragging it to the left or the right.
And action. No. Cut.
You have to figure out a safe path to always stay behind cover and reach the flag at the end.
Action. Cut.
This is the new level that people haven't been able to play before in the demo. It is in the sci-fi movie. It's got a little bit of a different vibe from the previous one as far as how it looks, but it is also a stealth level. And in the background, you can even see the robot from the previous level in the distance. So you're now in the car that you reach at the end of that previous level, and you are hiding from space police by ducking behind other moving vehicles. So as you can see, as the level is scrubbed, all the different cars kind of trigger and move across the scene.
Yeah, and so the big twist here is it's not a platformer anymore, but you control a spaceship, so you can fly in any direction that you want, and you're not limited to just run and jump.
Each clip controls a type of cars on the level, so you have different cars flying around, and the subway that is just constantly looping through the level. So it's a looping clip that we can adjust the timing of. Out of this big mess of flying cars in every direction, we have to create a path that is safe to reach the exit.
It's a wrap. Coming soon.
So thank you all for watching. It was Chonko Studios presenting It's a Wrap.
Yeah, and thanks a bunch to London Games Festival for this great opportunity.
And you can get the game's demo right now for free on Steam. So head over to Steam, search for It's a Wrap, and download the demo and hit that wishlist button because it helps us out a ton. Thank you so much.